So we like to say to people, there's some things in this world that we know are broken. They make you crazy. They drive you right to your knees, and it's horrible if you're not a religious person. When you get driven right to your knees. Because you just say to yourself, I don't want the world to be this way. So we try to give a public lament to the things in this world that make us say cripes and come on, and you got to be kidding me. It's the Minnesotan way to say that things are broken, Things aren't the way they're supposed to be. I can't even do the Minnesota accent. People often think that I'm a Minnesotan, but I'm not. I mean, I'm Minnesotan, but I'm not Scandinavian. That's what they often think. So I try to say it with the cripes and a come on, and you got to be kidding me, All right, so the cripes for this week comes out to autocorrect on texting on these fancy portable devices.
Yes.
I don't know if you've had this experience where autocorrect tries to guess what phrase you were trying to write. Right? So they they fill it in. Sometimes it's helpful because it pre-fills in a word that you might have been writing, and then lets you sort of skip over that so that you can finish it quickly. It's helpful. Unless, say, it wants you to say something that you didn't mean to say.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So I try to. I had lost my hat. I have this famous my favorite little fancy hat. Okay, it's a woven sort of cap that looks like a fedora. And I think I like to wear it in the summer. Don't look at me like that. I like to wear my fancy hat. All right. So I'm wearing my fancy hat, and I wanted to wear my fancy.
I hate that hat.
And I wanted to wear my fancy hat. You do?
You look great in it, Tug.
I wanted to wear my fancy hat out for my birthday. Okay, so I wanted to wear, and I had worn it the day before, and then it disappears. So I text my son, my 20-year-old son, to see if he'd taken it, because I'm pretty clear that when my stuff disappears, it's not because goblins exist. It's not because there's the devil in the world. It's not because someone has broken into my home and robbed me blind.
Taylor!
It's because the children to whom I have given life, the ones to whom I will now refer to as
the innocent fruit of my
conjugal intimacy.
Yes.
It was my fruits that came stealing my hat. So I try to write to Taylor the text, "Did you take my hat?" Of which my iPhone corrects it and says, "Did you take my gay?" Did you take my gay? Because I'm not nearly as gay as I was, and I'm wondering where the gay is.
Right.
Did you take my gay?
And Taylor was looking a little more gay?
And I have almost made the commitment to go a whole week without ever correcting the autocorrect. And just send texts.
Let the chips fall where they may.
You've got to figure out and I looked at my phone and I'm like, well, the G is next to the H, and the A is the A, and the T is next to the Y. So what does the iPhone think I'm writing when it autocorrects? What word could he have been writing? Did you take my hat? No. Did you take my gay? Yeah. For some reason, it's predisposed to assume that what I'm asking is, did you take my gay? Which I didn't think I was missing at all.
No.
So my son wrote back.
Maybe autocorrect knew how you looked in the hat.
Yeah, okay.
No, right on. Yeah, you're not lacking in gay, Doug, let me tell you.
Yeah. So he writes back and says, no, I didn't take your gay, nor your hat. As it turns out, I found my hat.
Where?
In his room.
No way.
Oh, absolutely. But the cripes doesn't go out to the fruits of my conjugal intimacy. No, it goes out to the autocorrect, who sometimes makes you say things that you're meaning, but you didn't want to say. All right, the cripes and the come on goes out to Americans.
Oh, right.
Yeah, here it is.
Okay.
Come on, Americans. We don't care enough about space exploration that finally on Friday people turn one eye over the TV and they're like, oh, there's the last space shuttle launch. Whatever happened to the dream of the 1960s? Whatever happened to the Tang generation?
Yes.
Whatever happened to the I dream of genie passion in all of us that we would be astronauts?
It's 2011. Where's my rocket pack?
It's 2011, and we don't have a way to get into the upper orbit. We got to borrow it from like Chile or Croatia. Croatia? I don't even know where that is. It doesn't even exist. It's unbelievable.
Their major export is crayons.
It's unbelievable that the United States of America doesn't have a way to even get to the space station anymore. We got to hitch a ride if we want to go. I mean, come on. This is. I understand that the space shuttle needed to be retired, but the fact that there isn't something else.
Plan B.
Yeah, that we haven't been working on something. Now, actually, on a more serious note, I do think it's one of the ways in which culture puts a limit on development.
Yeah.
So what basically the people in the United States said was, we don't think going to the moon matters. We don't want to live in outer space. All that Jetson stuff, all that 2011 promise, we don't actually want to do it. So now no one no one other than probably the three of us even knows the names of the people who live on the space station.
Yeah.
We don't even know. There's people living in upper orbit, living there, like for months at a time. We don't even care. It's truly unbelievable. The exploration, that the scientific endeavoring, that kind of deep hope has just been driven out, and people are like, oh, I think I'll watch the last one. I think I'll watch the last shuttle take off. Gets the front page of the paper. The last one. What, editors of the newspapers, you couldn't squeeze in a little space exploration before the last one? Unbelievable.
Yeah, because just think of the discoveries that aren't going to happen.
Yep.
Velcro, pins that ride upside down.
There's all kinds. Probably the internet.
Yes.
Toothpaste food?
What?
Toothpaste food?
Toothpaste foods. I think something about eggs. I think there's something about eggs that they discovered on these.
We're going to miss out on all of that.
Who knows what the next thing is that we're not going to have. All right. So the Cripes goes out to the autocorrect that makes you say things you didn't want to say publicly. Come on goes out to all of us for not giving a rat about the space shuttle.
I think you can say that word.
And I got freaked out last week with the 7 words you can't say on radio. I don't even know what they are. I can't keep track of us.
Here they are.
They are. And the You Gotta Be Kidding Me goes out to the Minnesota state legislators. Frankly, all of them. I mean, it's just gotten ridiculous at this point.
What's happening?
Oh, nothing. Nothing, because they've still decided, you know what? This is the legislature. I heard from the governor's supporters, and I'm one of them. This is the legislators who are saying, we don't think that we need to take your opinion into consideration when we make the budget. We think we should take our opinion into consideration, and we're not going to compromise anymore. I know that's not all of them, but for the ones who are doing it and who are holding it up, you got to be kidding me. And then the 69% of you that still took your paycheck on July 1st,
yeah.
You've got to be kidding me. I don't care which side of that thing you're on. I don't care how much work it is. When you laid off other state workers and you somehow considered yourselves as still being employable.
Yeah, you're still going to take that $1,200 check.
Employable. You know what we need to do? Every time the government shuts down, that November, there needs to be an automatic election where every one of the legislators and the governor are up for a re-election. That would snap their heads around. How about if we had an election that started about now?
Yes.
You think these people would still be bantering around like it doesn't matter, cashing their check?
It's shenanigans, Doug.
Shenanigans.
Tomfoolery.
No, it's things that make you say Cripes and come on and you got to be kidding me.
Yes.
And we don't want to live in a world like that. So at the end of the second hour, we're going to be encouraged about the things that are right, the things that are good, the things that are right on. The Somalian-born Muslim optimist hip-hop artist with a good sound is going to save us from our auto-correcting, non-space-caring Minnesota legislature shutdownness. All right, so we're going to be back here with Chuck Gutenson, who has his own comments about how Christians can live in the common good. We're talking about all these ideas after the break in the news here on AM 950, the Progressive Voice of Minnesota, and DougPagerRadio.com.
Hello, friends. This is Nancy Nelson. I'm so